Alright, here we go, guys. Trying something a bit new and different here with a few different video input sources. And again, remember, I'm an absolute noob at this, so just bear with me. Hopefully this will go somewhat smoothly, but I'm still trying to figure out how to get these settings right. But this should be a fun video. I want to talk about sample cards, some history of what they are, some questions I've been getting from the community about what is a sample card, how will you distinguish them from the final alpha print, and really, what are they intended for? Why are they coveted collectibles? What is their rarity level? So I'm showing here, I'm going to have a bit of a reveal. I have seven sample cards actually. One is currently live for auction in the my Facebook group at the Sorcery Contested Realm fan page and marketplace. So if you search for that out on Facebook, you'll find that auction for the Spear of Destiny. It's an extremely rare, unique sample card. Believed to be less than 10 in the world, probably somewhere around 5 to 7 if I had to guess. And the article I wrote on this topic kind of breaks down the assumptions in that estimate and why that is believed to be an accurate number. The other thing is, I got the website here, so you find my article if you go to the Collector Arthouse website under interviews and articles. I recently wrote this article about sample cards and some background and history about what we know first from Sorcery, from the company Eric's Curiosa, about what is out there, what's been printed, what we've seen sent to some social influencers, people out on YouTube that have done some live stream events with Simon from the company. There's been a couple of giveaway events, and this article kind of outlines those details. But we'll start with what is a sample card. So these things recently they became a pretty fun collectible because they're extremely rare and they've been made available to the public for the first time, to my knowledge at least. I can't really think of any other TCGs besides MetaZoo that's been doing this and offering these for sale to fans and really hardcore collectors that are interested in this niche. But it's typical for a startup TCG to put in an order with a printer or sometimes multiple printing companies, and really the purpose for them is to test print quality and the capabilities of that particular printer. So I've outlined here in the article actually a few things that are tested for. When you go and you order a print, you can decide on the roundness of the card edges, the cardstock thickness, cardstock options, so different tiers of quality and cost to consider. And really the overarching intent here is to get a sense for the print quality and decide what printer you want to go with and do that trade-off, value trade-off of cost and quality. And I know Eric is a very meticulous guy and he's going for top quality. You see that in everything from the arts to the design concepts, the detail of the card mechanics and design themselves, and just the quality of the artists that have been commissioned for the game. And I really think that's going to shine through in the final product with the print selection, what printer they go with, the foiling detail. The team's putting a ton of energy into that, so that's going to be super exciting to see those final prints. But getting into the rarity, so as I mentioned, we know these were sent to a few different YouTube personalities, and there's been a few live stream events where this is actually where these cards came from. Unfortunately, I was not a winner, have not been given anything by the company, so I don't know any sorcery things myself. I'm just kind of doing this as a consignment type of deal, leveraging my different platforms and just connections across the community to help some folks that wanted to sell their sample cards and get these out there to the public. So it's a great opportunity to get some extremely rare cards. I'm messing with my camera over here. The stand's fouling me, so bear with me there. But yeah, through these auctions on the Facebook page and then also mirrored on a Discord I set up recently. It's called Collector Arthouse Discord, and I'll link all this stuff in the video description. We do the live auction through the Facebook page, and people can bid in the comments or send me a Facebook private message if they choose to be anonymous, and then I keep a recording of who's who and drop in their proxy bid as soon as I can to keep everybody updated on the current status. And then I'm using the Discord where I'm also updating that status so people who do not use Facebook can also participate and bid through there, or send me a direct message through Discord during the live bidding window, and then I go and translate that into the live Facebook auction where the live auction is happening. So both parties, I do that as quickly as possible as those bids come in. So whether you're on Facebook or in the Collector Arthouse Discord group, you can get those bids in and kind of see what the latest bid is and decide if you want to put your head in the ring and try to win some of these. So getting back to the sample cards, we did a breakdown from the Kickstarter sample packs, and Ryan from the community helped me with these numbers, so I want to make sure to remember to give him credit for some of the analysis and the statistics that you'll see on rarity levels. But the math on the Kickstarter itself is pretty simple. These sample cards, in addition to the ones that were given to social influencers to make videos and as a marketing type approach to get awareness out for the game, there's been a few live auction events, and in those, not live auctions, excuse me, a few YouTube media streams where they have open packs and given some of these cards away to the community. So we broke those numbers down, also added in the Kickstarter campaign itself, there has been sample packs included depending on your pledge level. So there's the very highest tier pledge is the Avatar of the Realm. There's only 4 people that was offered to, or 4 total people that could elect to purchase that. And there's 12 sample packs in that. As a reminder, there's 36 packs in a booster box for Sorcery. Each pack has 15 cards. So you got 12 sample packs, 15 cards per pack. There was a collector tier, which is the second highest end tier, and those folks will get 4 sample packs. So 24 people getting 4 packs each. And then finally, for the early bird special, there was 100 of these offered, and those are will only include 1 sample pack. So when you do the math, this gets pretty scarce pretty quickly. I got a table here breaking down the rarity levels expected across the set. For the unique rarity, those are 1 in 5 packs, right? So going back up here, even if you are an Avatar of the Realm, which again is only 4 people, you're getting 12 sample packs. So you expect on average 1 unique per 5 packs. Those people will be lucky to get 3 uniques, more likely to get 2. It's a small sample size, so those aren't written in stone per se, but that's kind of what's been said by the company. It will be the pull rate numbers in the alpha set, so we're just assuming that translates through to the test packs as well. For the collector tier, 4 packs, right? So 1 in 5 for a unique. You might get no uniques. You might just get the lower level rarities, which is lower level tier rarities, elite, exceptional, and ordinary. And then elites are quite scarce as well. So really uniques and elite will be the most rare and premium, but you'll see here when we break down the numbers at all rarity levels, all 4, these are exceptionally rare, more rare than we saw in MetaZoo was the recent comp that offered sample cards to the public. I believe there was 100 copies of those on the low end, some more I saw. If you go to eBay sold listings, you'll see people quote how many are in the population. Often the most rare are 100 copies, and some are like 500 copies, and incredible sales numbers there. A lot of hype and excitement with the hardcore collector scene on acquiring these. Some of those have sold for hundreds and others for thousands of dollars. So they're quite valuable because they're so niche and they're so limited. So getting down to the numbers, in a normal set, so the set size is expected to be 400 cards, right? And when these test prints were procured from the printing companies, the design was not really even close to complete. So these numbers, the top kind of characterizes what you might expect in a final card size. There's 292 total packs based on the breakdown that I articulated between the social media YouTube types that were given free cards as a sample and to show off on their respective platforms. And then when you add in the Kickstarter packs, you get 292 total packs. So 15 cards per pack. Your total pack count is 4,300, or total card count, excuse me, is 4,380 sample cards. And then we tried to estimate roughly how many copies of each individual card are likely to exist at each rarity level. So you got your unique is the most rare, elite, exceptional, and an ordinary is the most common level. When you look at that, you see, again, we got to assume that the full set, we know for a fact that the full set was not complete. Alpha is going to have roughly 400 cards, is what the company has stated. This was kind of early to mid-stream design phase. So we know based on tabletop simulator card pool and just all across social media what the company put out for public release of which cards were completed. And let's say there was roughly 300 or so. There's, long story short, roughly 2/3 maybe had been revealed at that time, and the rest were still in development, and so they're presumed to not have been ordered for test prints. So what this set size estimate 1, 2, and 3 is trying to approximate is how many total pop of each rarity is composed within this 292 pack count or 4,380 card population. We know these numbers to be precise. You know, they might be slightly inaccurate if there's some other YouTubers that we're not aware of, or perhaps members of the company that may still have sample packs or have been rewarded sample packs as part of their compensation or just as a thank you. Of course, those things are possible, and that's not included in this analysis. We're only including known packs that we've seen on YouTube and that we've heard from the company have been sold to different influencers, right? So that's take that with a grain of salt, but that should be roughly accurate. And then when you break that down, what this is trying to approximate is based on the partial sample size of actual cards that were development and therefore available to go send off to the printer to test quality. You get to a smaller and smaller total set size that might have been ordered for the samples. So sample 3, or set size estimate number 3, assumes the smallest amount of cards that may have been composed in that set, and then in set size estimate 3, that assumes something closer to completion. We know in what the company has said, for example, that there will be roughly 59 uniques in the finalized total set. So if you break that down based on what I just described, if the set was pretty close to complete, you know, maybe they sent off 57 uniques to go test, right? Maybe at the time it was more premature and there was only 40, or in scenario 3 it assumes there's only 20 unique cards. So this in green for each row is the print run per card. So it seems counterintuitive at first, but if the set was pretty early stage and raw, that means that there was less total cards of each rarity, but it's a fixed total population of total cards, right? So if there's only 20 uniques, but you printed 4,380 cards, you're going to get more uniques in that pool size. If there's 57 uniques and 4,380 cards still, you're going to get less unique copies, individual, I try not to use the same word twice, but individual print number copies of each individual card. So if there's a total population of 57 uniques, and there's only 292 packs or 4,380 cards, you're much less likely to get any individual card. There's only roughly one copy across all of those packs and cards. If the set was less mature and there was only 20 uniques sent off to print, then even so, only 3 unique cards would exist in that total population size. So uniques are extremely, extremely rare. So the Spear of Destiny that's being auctioned right now, that is one of the rarest cards ever printed for Sorcery thus far, maybe one of the rarest cards to ever be printed. You've only really seen rarity of that magnitude in, if you look at, probably a good example would be art proofs. You know, there's usually 25 to 50 of those, but those are kind of a niche. I guess you could consider sample cards a niche too, because it's not the final product. But that's a good comp. And really in other games, like I said, MetaZoo is a good comp with sample cards. There's 100 copies of each, 100 plus, some more common. So to get to only a level of a handful, that is really shockingly rare. and that's why the really high-end hardcore collectors are really into this. So I'm scrolling down now. There was 5 pre-constructed decks that were sent out to influencers as well, right? So there's a fire deck. Each of the elementals, fire, water, wind, and earth. They were sent a pre-constructed deck of each of one of those elements, and what I have here in the article is the full set list of what was in those. And the reason being is when you add those to the packs in the population assumed above, you're going to end up with a few more copies of some of these individual cards. So if you look at a unique like the Spirit of Destiny, we'll talk about that one since that one's being offered for sale right now. That was included here in the, it's only in the Earth deck, right? So if a set of pre-con decks was sent to, we believe, about 5 different YouTuber types, there's going to be 5 additional copies of Spirit of Destiny in a total population. So you assume a baseline of 5 from those that were sent out, and then you go up to the table, and based on the set size, again, these are assumptions and estimates to give a range, there's anywhere from additional 1 to 3 potentially we would approximate that could exist in the total net population when you look at booster packs that are being distributed through the Kickstarter and packs that were given to Red Zone Rogue channel did an opening of 12 packs, and Simon and Red Zone Rogue did an opening of precons that were given away, right? So 5 baseline from the precons plus upward up to 3, 1 to 3 additional from the packs. You're looking at 6 to 8 pop size estimate. So extremely rare. I think that's about it from the article. What I wanted to do now is do a bit of a reveal of the 6 cards that will be coming likely through auction through, again, my Facebook group. It's called the Sorcery Contested Realm fan page and marketplace. So that'll be in the description there. You can go search for it on Facebook groups, and look for that. There's about 1,000 members, so if you found that forum, you're in the right place. I stood that up in February. I've been grinding hard there. I put out content every single day, usually, oftentimes, multiple times a day, with different images and things that I uncover from talking with artists or the company or community members. Really exciting things if you're into the product, if you're into the art or the artists. It's a really fun forum that people enjoy, and I've learned a lot about the game in the process. So pretty proud of growing that from 0 in first week of February when it was stood up to 5 months later here we're almost at 1,000 members, which is pretty amazing and exciting. I hope to grow much larger than that. I think this auction that's going on now is going to add a tremendous amount of credibility to Sorcery TCG itself. The auction's currently at $1,300 for that card, and it's slated to end Sunday night at 8 p.m. So that is a very substantial sale, the largest in Sorcery history to date. There hasn't been a large sample size granted, and no pun intended, it is a sample card, but $1,300 I think is a statement that says there's a serious collector community out there. A lot of excitement for this game, and these cards are going to be extremely highly valued, especially the very rare cards like this. So pretty exciting times. Let's get into it though. So I have 6 samples here. These are again owned by a community member. I do some consignment with community members that would like to sell things anonymously. Since I have kind of the market reach between the Facebook group, we run auctions there. I have the Collector Arthouse Discord, collectorarthouse.com, my website that I'm showing here, and mailing lists through that, and just a lot of connections across the industry and with the artist, and happy to help people sell cards through those mechanisms if anyone wants to reach out to me, or artwork. A lot of people purchase original artwork just to collect and own personally, which is great and admirable, but sometimes things come up and people want to sell, so you just reach out and I could help move those for you. And then I also work with a lot of the sorcery artists directly. So there's some exciting things coming up. We've auctioned several original paintings from the alpha set, and those are getting more and more very scarce. So I'd urge you to go out and grab those or participate in the auctions if you want to acquire those before they're gone. And also I'll be working with many of the artists to distribute artist proof cards with sketches or paintings on the back, and hand embellished prints that will be limited print, looking at probably doing a series of 10 copies of those. Hand embellished means that they are like your standard print, except they will paint over top of those and embellish aspects of those to make it resemble more of like an original painting quality as best as possible. It makes it a little more special, makes it pop and display amazingly when you frame it up and put it on your wall. Alright, so I'm losing a battle with this webcam stand, so let me adjust this one more time. Hopefully it'll hold up. Won't make anybody too dizzy here. Alright, so we'll just roll with it, right? So let's go with the first one. Cloud Spirit. I'm going to keep it laid down so you guys can see it. Hopefully the camera will autofocus and zoom enough to see that. So this first card is from Mikhail Nagypal, and again, if you can see it there, you see his name at the bottom, and next to his name, this is the best way to distinguish that this is a sample card. You get the copyright symbol. It's kind of, well, it looks like a C within a circle, like a copyright. That is going to change in the final print to the alpha logo. So that'll be a clear and easy distinction. Sometimes people ask, what is the alpha symbol? And there it is, right? I wrote an article about this, the alpha set, where I used data out there publicly available. I revealed every card that had been released. There's a nice table there that says these are the numbers on the cards that have been released and what's speculated to be in the alpha set. But nevertheless, that is the alpha symbol. That's what you're going to see at the bottom next to the artist name. So that'll be a clear, easy way to distinguish that this is indeed a sample card. So navigating my site here, I just wanted to point out a few things. I have all the current and latest cards under this all cards category from the tabletop simulator. I have before that cards that have been updated or that were removed and don't exist in this latest update, right? So that's where you get that card pool. Like, well, the design seemed to be a work in progress. Is it going to be in the alpha sets, or is it going to be moved to Arthurian Legends, or included maybe even in the revised or beta set? Who knows? So you got that, and then you have the breakdown of all the new cards organized by avatar, sites, spells, tokens, and then the cards bin by each artist. Like I'm really into the artists. I love all the artists for this game and their art styles. And this site pays a lot of respect and homage to all those artists and shows a lot of their work individually. For that reason, right? So that's why I decided to sort it like this. So I'm going to go to Mikhail's site, and I'm actually working with Mikhail currently. He has several process paintings for some of his artworks here that he wants to offer for sale. So you can contact me if you're interested in seeing that. I'll be sharing what's available and potentially bringing some of those to auction. There's actually one for Meteor Shower that I've been previewing. If anyone's interested for that. And as I pass it, there's one for Summoning Sphere, which is really cool. It shows like the setting of the background that he had painted and inspired the final design for that one. But we're looking for Cloud Spirit, right? And I probably passed it while I was rambling. So here we go, Cloud Spirit. This is what it's going to be like to do the pack opening experience, because there's going to be curio cards in this set, and those will have hidden elements within the cards. So you're going to have to really look closely, right? So as I'm looking, you're going to want to look at everything from the cloud title. You know, these curio cards are supposed to pay respects to the history and development of the game. So the companies kind of tease that anything is possible on these. It could be subtle. We don't know what specifically, but I've kind of speculated in an article I wrote on this topic about curio cards that it could be anything from the card title to the type line text. An ordinary spell, spirit, soars in these skies, right? So if you go and look at the latest version on my website, this is where you might see some differences in what was sent out for test print versus what it currently says. So it could be, there's been changes in type line wording, there's been changes in card mechanics, there's been changes in the mana cost, power of the card, and flavor text here below what the card mechanic is, and even rarity levels. So, you know, you figure out the rarity from the type line text, an ordinary spirit, right? So you know it's an ordinary rarity card, and in some cases these cards have changed rarities, and I'm going to have examples of that as we go through here. But that's the first one. Cloud Spirit, really beautiful landscape style or scenic type art. The flavor text is awesome on this. Children picture creatures in the clouds. Innocence sees what wisdom cannot. I don't know what that's from, but I think it speaks to the loss of childhood innocence. You know, we take things for granted. We look up at the sky, we see clouds. Children look up at the sky, they see whatever their budding imagination wants to see, right? So it's pretty cool. And if you look at this card, you should take a close look and see what you see in that sky. Pretty cool. All right, so Cloud Spirit is the first one. Next one, this one's really sweet. So this is the Peregrine Apparition, I guess it's pronounced, by Adam Burke. So Adam did 3 paintings for this game. It's rumored that he has been commissioned to do another handful or so for the Arthurian Legend set coming up. So if you're a fan of his, you know, more to come from him hopefully, but this one is an exceptional rarity. So let's go take a look at the Collector Arthouse website and look at cards for Adam Burke and looking for the Peregrine, right? So as I said, there's 3 cards here. Edge of the World's a really popular one, but this Peregrine Apparition is pretty cool. And you see this one, as it comes up here, look, comparing the card, try to get that, again, let me lay it down so you can actually see what's going on here. Alright, so just comparing, mana cost the same, title the same, an exceptional spirit of transcendent velocity. Alright, so here you go. Now we got some differences, right? So in the sample card, it says Airborne, the apparition moves freely, and the flavor text, the truly sublime, no bounds. Now you look at the latest card from the tabletop simulator, and you see there's been some significant updates here actually in the card mechanics. It has both Airborne, Haste, and Voidwalk. So that's a clear change, I guess you'd argue an upgrade to the power level of this card, and this apparition moves freely in the realm. Alright, so a bit of clarifying text. So that's another extremely special thing about these sample cards. These are very raw, early stage. If you're a hardcore collector and you're really into this game, you know, that's what people like myself that are passionate about it really care about, is the history, the connection to the history. This is a true piece of history and a really amazing collectible, because it shows kind of the early thought process, and you're going to see what it was at the time, in the very early stages of the game, versus what the final product is going to end up looking like. Yeah, this is a funny one. This little, see that? Let's get the punch in the leg. That's how I interpret that foot. All right, so there you go. There's the first card that has a difference in the sample card. That's a unique discovery of these. All right, so now we got one by Marta Molina. Marta is very well known in the Magic the Gathering community as a card. She does MTG altars that are absolutely stunning. A lot of ship designs and just beautiful scenic artwork that's really incredible. Just like Kaio Kalazans and Elira Shakarova. 3 of them come from the MTG altar scene. That's where Eric discovered them. Eric's a big alpha, early Magic collector, and he's obviously into card altars, right? He's creating his own game. He's done some altar work that led him on this path to sorcery. So Marta's work is really amazing. You should go check it out on the Instagram, or her Facebook. She's posting these altars that she's doing all the time and offering those for sale. But nevertheless, I digress. This is Polar Explorers. So let's have a look at this on the site. Go to Marta here. I have this alphabetical, so that makes it a little easier. And you see how just beautiful and picturesque all of her work is. She's another artist that I'm going to be working with to do embellished prints of these artworks. So if there's one that's your favorite, love to hear about that. And she's going to print these and accent these and paint over elements of these to make them really pop. Alright, so Polar Explorers, let's see, did this change at all? Elite morals of an extreme expedition, so no change there. However, you see, now this is interesting, in the card mechanic description, in this sample card, there's quite a bit of text here. I think Eric's made some efforts here to really streamline these to restore the aesthetics and natural beauty of the cards. For one, right, make sure it lays out nice, it looks good and presentable. That's a huge competitive advantage or distinction, I guess I'd call it, of Sorcery that makes it stand out from other games. But also, they're trying to make the card mechanics very clear, so when you're playing, you understand just intuitively what the card's supposed to do. So if I read this, it says these explorers and allied minions moving together with them can move between sites at the top and bottom edges of the realm as if they were adjacent. So that's a mouthful, right? You sit there reading there mid-game, trying to digest what this card actually does. And here in the updated version, allies here can move as if the top and bottom edges of the realm were connected. This is an incredible just card mechanic that you only get out of a grid-based game. It makes the world round, right? It's not flat, so you can go from an edge and connect to the other edge, Pac-Man style. Really sweet mechanic, amazing card by Marta, a lot of detail here, a lot of attention to color, quality, lighting. Love this one. Alright, here we go. A Nui Undyne. This one is definitely a special card from Tony Scudula. He's one of my favorite artists in the game. And I can't really say I have a favorite. I really love all the artists, but I've communicated a lot with Tony, and let me tell you why this one is particularly special. So this is one of 2 paintings that Tony has left. He's really slowed down the pace of selling these. There was a mad dash to acquire originals, and he's been holding out a bit on these last 2. And this one is a really special card. It's got a great story. One of Tony's hallmarks is he embeds elements in his paintings that have personal meaning to him. And I've worked with a lot of the artists here. If you go to the Sorcery Behind the Art section, I wrote this one quite a while ago, A Nui Undyne by Tony Scudula. And here you go. I write a feature article about the card, the art direction that Eric gave to the artist, and then how the artist came up with the design concept. And this is a pretty touching story here. I won't spoil it, but I get into some real life history of what an undyne is. You know, most people wouldn't know that intuitively unless you're a history buff. So that's how the article starts, and then it gets into Tony's personal story about what this artwork means to him. Look how amazing this painting is. Like the detail, the color, the light coming down off of the eyes, just the look of the eyes. I mean, he has such an amazing photorealistic quality to his work. It's just, and the real paintings that people have acquired and revealed of Tony's look exactly like these prints. I mean, the definition and detail is just unreal. I don't know how he does it. But I regress here. He has this painting available. I have this sample card available. So they'll be coming to auction. They'll be available for sale. This might be like a stretch goal type concept where you'll have an opportunity to purchase the painting, and if it hits a certain price point, you could own the sample card as well. And just imagine, if you own the painting, the sample, the foil version, which you can display on the foil side, or the back side of the foils are going to be a full art card with no text, right? You'll just see like an artwork, just like you see here on the website. Full art, right? So if you had that framed up with the painting, the sample card, the full art card, the foil card, the regular version card, that would be an incredibly amazing display. So I'd love to see some hardcore collector do that. I'd love if someone has the ambition to do that and the financial means, because it's probably be pricey. That would be incredible. I'd love, a real passionate fan to be able to display that. Alright, so let's go back to now his card page. Tony Scudula. A Nui Undyne. Again, I'm not going to spoil what this is. You got to go read that article. It's an amazing story from Tony on how he came up with this. So let's look at the rarity. An exceptional spirit of seaborne synergy. No change here from the card. This Undyne has +1 power for each site that forms a body of water she's in. So she gains strength, from being a water deity. This sea will outlive us all. So this one, actually, there hasn't been a lot of change in design upgrades from this. You'll just expect to see, instead of this copyright symbol, the alpha symbol. And we'll see, the game's still doing, the team is still doing design tweaks, so we could see a rarity change, we could see the card mechanic change. It'll be exciting to see how these get finalized, but there you have it. The painting's available, the sample card is available. That's going to be a special collectible for some lucky fan. Alright, here we go. 2 left. And then a surprise to close. Here we go. Alan Pollock in large. So let's go to Alan Pollock's card. Take a look at the final version. Now this is interesting. This gives us, oh, I went to the wrong one. This will give us some historic context, or a context to the history and the timing of when this was printed, right? So let me explain. When I go to the updated version here, you're going to notice some significant changes. For one, the entire title has changed. The card is now called Gigantism, right? So if you own the sample card, that is a significant piece of history where the name of the card itself has changed considerably. So it was once upon a time called in large, and it was known as that for quite a while, and now it's Gigantism. And then here's another big difference on this one. If you look at the card, exceptional click magic of great magnitude. Excuse me. In the updated version, this is now a unique rarity. So this is going to be an extremely rare card in the final alpha print if it stays a unique, which I presume at this time from the latest TTS update that came out in May, that was fairly recent. You know, the team's buckling down and trying to finalize this and get this to final print. I'd expect this to stay as a unique and be called Gigantism. And I sense that the reason that it changed from exceptional to unique is that it was overpowered as an exceptional. As an exceptional rarity, that means you could have 3 copies of the card in your deck. Now, making it a unique means you can only have 1 copy. So this massive power boost that you get from this is +7 power as an exceptional. If you could increase the likelihood that you would pull that card because you have 3 in your deck and have that massive power boost, that's a bit much, I guess the team decided, and the playtest crew. Emberleaf and Nick and company, and all the guys, Joe working hard on playtesting. I guess this was reconsidered and now it's unique, so it's going to be harder to pull. It still has that massive power effect, although again, consider the difference. Target minion gets +7 power until end of turn, and now it says an ally occupies 4 sites and gains +7 power. So that actually is a buff, you know. Instead of just putting it on 1 minion that occupies 1 space, it now occupies 4 sites. And that power boost has broader reach, but you can only have 1 in the deck, right? So that probably if you pull on that is slimmer. Cool flavor text here. Pity these meek and measly men. Smash them for +7. Alright, here we go. Last sample reveal, Ogre Goons, Jeff Menges. Jeff is a legend in the TCG community, an alpha Magic the Gathering artist. I interviewed him, so you go to Sorcery Artist bios. It was my pleasure really to interview Jeff. Very interesting guy, incredible talent, and this is his card, Ogre Goons. So let's take a look on the site. Jeff Menges, are there any changes to Ogre Goons? I think the title of this one might have changed, but to see that we probably have to go to the older versions. Here we go. So it's still Ogre Goons. Stand corrected there. These ordinary monsters are out of control. Yeah, a lot of flavor in these cards. So it's still an ordinary rarity, no change. These goons must attack an enemy minion if able. These ogres can only attack weaker minions. So I don't know, is goons a controversial term these days? I find it pretty hilarious. Can't be, because the card is still called Ogre Goons, right? But I guess the emphasis is on the ogres and not their descriptor as being goons. Goon ogres. So these ogres can only attack weaker minions. There's a text change here. So again, this is a special card because you got a special piece of history there, where some historical insight into what the shape and the form that this took in the early stages of development and what it is today. So there we go, 6 cards. These will be coming forth to auction. don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to have another card I want to show in just a minute to close. These cards are in beautiful condition. The print quality is really sensational on these. I was very impressed. So happy to be in this position to be able to, not really about selling them, just having them in hand. You know, I don't own anything sorcery at all. So this was my first exposure to the card, and just having them in hand is really special after doing all this work and getting so emotionally invested in the game and the community and the team creating this game. It's really awesome to be able to finally hold some cards, even though I don't own them and have to sell them to other people, but it's still pretty awesome. The card back by Francesca Berald is amazing. Look at the detail there. It's hard to believe that's an original art and not digital. But there you go. There's your 6 cards that will be coming for sale. And then finally, let me fix this camera here. Just hold still. Hold still, guy. Alright. The Spear of Destiny. Look at this thing. Now you should go, and I put in the Facebook auction, again, it's going on now, it's going to end Sunday night. In that auction I have several links. I did an article with the artist, Andrea Modesti. I did a feature article on the history of this illustration, what Eric's direction was to Andrea, and how Andrea evolved the final design. And there's a lot of history there. You should go to YouTube, and I did a YouTube. If you go to my YouTube, I did a video about this as well, a feature with all the sketches and drawings of this card. You could also find those in the Behind the Art feature article that I did on my website. But just YouTube Spear of Destiny, and you can watch videos all day about the real life history and the lore of this spear, the religious ties to other social figures, which I won't name. Go out there and look it up. There's been movies made about it. The card's absolutely incredible. It's just so classic looking, and it's just so stupid rare. You know, we think there's 5 to 8 copies, and it's just going to be a real special item in someone's collection. So go out and read those resources. If you want to get involved in the auction, it's getting pretty pricey already. It's at $1,300. But you know, that it's a rare card. If sorcery is successful, think about other super rare cards. The rarest cards in each collectible successful TCG, they're worth a fortune. So if you're a believer, this could be cheap someday. But you know, it's for everyone to decide. Can you afford it or not? How badly do you want it? It sucks. I got to send it to somebody. I wish I owned it, but at least I could say I did for a short time and got to appreciate this card. Appreciate connecting with Andrea, learning about his history, his story. He lives in Italy. I'm Italian, so a special connection there, like Vincent Pompetti as well. And it's just real awesome history, just beautiful looking design, and not super flashy, although the foil is going to look sick on this. I think we're going to see some bling and rays coming off of this baby. But just an amazing card, great condition, and just so rare and limited. It's going to be really cool for somebody to own. So thanks for sticking with the video. I guess this got pretty crazy long, but there's a lot to get through, a lot I wanted to communicate. Please like and subscribe my channel if you're into this kind of content. I'm all about sorcery. Everything I do is about sorcery. The videos, the YouTube, the website. That's my passion. I'm just into it. I love the product. It's a lot of fun. I love the community. I love the artists. They're awesome people and incredibly talented. So if you're into this kind of stuff, please sign up for the group. Please check out my website. Check out the YouTube. You're already there, but come back and join our Discord and all the content I'm putting out there. Hope people enjoy it and appreciate your time. And sorry about this shitty camera. Hopefully I can get it fixed. All right. Take care, everybody.